Hey everyone, in this video, let's talk about how you can use LTX Studio. In order to do so, here we are at ltx.studio and we're all logged in. If you haven't gotten started yet, then you're going to need to sign up. But once you've gotten signed up, then this is the screen that you're going to find. And we have a few options to explore here. So first off, what you're probably going to be doing is you're going to be using the generate storyboard option. But if you just want to generate a single image, then you can use the generate motion option and you can try that out there. You can also generate images, and you can start with the blank storyboard. This is pretty much the same thing if I'm not mistaken, but we'll go ahead and we'll use this option here. But you can also create an actor. So if you go to your actor library, you can create a model, and that will allow you to gain a certain amount of character consistency throughout. So that's a nice option there that they've added. And let's go ahead, and to get started, we're going to use the blank storyboard. So we have our project name. So we're going to go ahead and just say, let's see here. Okay, we'll call our project name City of Forever. We're going to add a character, and here we've got a variety of characters that we can choose from. Let's go ahead and we'll go with Maya, and we'll just call the character Maya. Why not? We're gonna say, I think we're looking more like about 27 here. Clothing, we'll just leave that as is. Actually, we'll just say a space dress, whatever that looks like. And we have voices that we can use. So we can go ahead and we'll create our character. And let LTX think here. Okay, so she's wearing her space dress. I'm not sure if that's a space dress, but it looks good enough. So we'll go ahead and create that. We've got our character, and we've got our name. We've got our style. We can do a style reference if we want. Let's go say sci-fi, and we'll hit start. And there we go. So this is going to give us a blank storyboard to work from. So this is not as hands-on as the other options. So let's go ahead and head back. And we're going to use the generate storyboard option, because this is going to give you some more tools to get started. But if you want to use the blank storyboard, you can. That gives you an idea of what that is going to be. But here you can input your concept. So this is going to be a little bit more hands-on as far as LTX giving you some suggestions here. We have some examples on the right-hand side that we can play around with. You certainly don't need to do this, but let's go ahead and we're going to go with the same idea. And so we've got our concept here, and we're going to play around with that. We got some special requests. We'll just leave that as is, but here it says anything from 80s atmosphere to plot twists. Well, why don't we go ahead and we'll say psychedelic, kind of psychedelic here. We'll just use that. Let's see that. I think I might have spelled that wrong. It's fine. We're not going to. Actually, I think it's an E there. So there we go. That looks a little better. How should AI shape your story? We're going to just select short film. We're going to go with genre. We're going to go science fiction, and tone. We're going to go with serious. And we can add a voiceover if we want, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to hit next and move on to the next page here. We'll let this think for a moment. Okay. And so just on our simple prompt, LTX has given us a more fleshed out idea. So that's kind of cool. We've got a couple of options here. So you can select that. And if you like the story, then you can go with that. You can generate more if you want. And when we're done, we'll go ahead and hit next. And now LTX is going to start generating our settings and cast. So here we go. We've got our characters. This generated automatically a character here. We'll go ahead and just leave that as is. We could put in a style reference if we want. We can add some cinematic inspiration if we want to do that. But let's just go ahead and leave that as is. And we're going to hit next here. We'll let LTX think. Okay, so now we have a breakdown of our short film. So we have a synopsis, we have our different scenes, and this is going to give us an idea of what it is that we're looking for, what we're going to be looking at with the little film we've got here. We can delete a scene if we want to, we can duplicate it, we can edit it. Let's go ahead and just hit start so we can move on here. Okay, so now we're in our project, and you can see here that LTX is generating our shots. So we have our scenes. We've got 3 scenes here. So we have our different scenes, and it goes all the way across. And we have, within our scene, we have our different shots. And this is actually looking pretty cool. One thing I will say is that as you go through your shots, do your due diligence to make sure that everything looks good, because LTX doesn't always get it right. Sometimes you get some weird results. So you are going to want to make sure that you go through and just check to make sure that each visual is what you're looking for, because otherwise you're going to get some mixed results in the end. So it's generated shots for the first scene, but it hasn't generated shots for the next scene. So you're going to actually have to go through individually. And you might want to spend time checking the prompts before you generate the images. You can really spend a lot of time dialing things in with LTX. And so I would suggest that you play around with it and you really kind of get things as dialed in as you can. Once you are ready to move on, then you're going to want to generate motion for each of your shots as well. And just bear in mind that with the free version, you are going to be able to do a certain amount, but you're going to want to make sure that your shots are exactly spot on before you do anything, because once you generate that motion, it doesn't always get it right. And so you might have to regenerate it. And every time you do that, you're going to be using credits. So if you don't get it right the first time, then if you have to do too many generations, then there's a good chance that you're not going to be able to get through your project. And it's fine. And, you know, if you're going to want to spend the money for the subscription, but then by all means do that. But if you just want to get in here and you want to play around, you want to put something together, then just bear in mind that everything you do is going to generate computing seconds. And so you have to be kind of frugal with your credits. And if you're familiar with AI animation, then you know that it doesn't always get it right. And so sometimes you have to regenerate in order to get something a little bit better. But that gives you an idea of what you are going to be doing with LTX. So once you have generated motion for all of your shots, then you can preview your video. You can preview your animation to see if you like what you're looking at. And then once you're done, then you can go ahead and share that and you can export it. But that gives you an idea of how it is that you can use LTX Studio. Again, if you're going to get in there, if you want to just play around and test it out, then by all means do that. But just be aware that you are going to be generating credits. And so you just want to be as specific as possible and just spend some time with it. Have some fun with it. Really dial it in and make sure that all your shots and your prompts are what you want before you generate motion. And then from there, you can export your final project. And that's all there is to it. If you found this video helpful, please leave a comment and like and subscribe. And don't forget to set your notifications for more helpful tips. Also, if you take a look in the description, you will find a link to our link tree. There you'll find our socials and our top AI recommendations. And if you're looking for a new bank, check out Simply Financial. If you start out with Simply Financial, click on the link in the link tree and you can get $50 to start your bank account. Once you have started an account with Simply, if you refer your friends and family, you can get $125 per referral and they'll get $50 to start. It's a win-win situation and it is a great online bank. Comes highly recommended.